He's never once a lack effort, is it?
Sheer dogged determination not to let the shuttle drop.
I don't believe that.
Just have a look at how Bruce is all over my body all the time.
Hans-Kristian Vittinghus wins the Australian Open. Denmark have won the Thomas Cup.
I don't think I won nearly as much as I dreamt about.
Goodness, that's a good smash. Look at the reaction.
That just says everything about Hans-Kristian Vittinghus, willing to put himself through hell to win one rally.
To the 180th Yonex All-England Open Badminton Championships, affectionately known as the All-England. It's one of the world's oldest and most prestigious badminton tournaments with a history dating back to 1898. This is the one the players all want to win.
It's special to me because in Denmark, All England is badminton. Like, if you stop a Dane on the street and they know nothing about badminton, they will have heard about All England still. So it's always been the one tournament that everyone cares about. As a junior, for me, growing up, it's just been the tournament to care about. And ever since I came there the first time, as when I was 18, I think in 04. As soon as I stepped into the arena, it's so hard to describe, but it just the atmosphere just hit me that it's such a special place. It oozes of like history and tradition. It's one of the greatest feelings is to be in that arena and feel when the crowd gets really, really excited.
That's not possible, surely. Come on.
It's just it's the history, it's the tradition, it's the atmosphere, and it just makes it a very special time. Like in that tournament, I went into it with like no expectations because I was just back from that heel injury. The 2 weeks before, we played the European Men's Team Championships, where I was match point down against Kalle Koljonen from Finland, and at the time Kalle was not a very good player. He was very young, so it was very obvious I was not at a great place in terms of my level. I remember Kenneth Jonassen has told me after the tournament that he actually had planned that after All England we needed to sit down and have a chat about what we were going to do with the next few months, because obviously things were not going in the right direction.
Because we still have this men's singles semi-final to come. Tian Hao-wei of China, the former world junior champion, up against Hans-Kristian Vittinghus of Denmark. For this man from Denmark, well, what an occasion for him. His first ever Super Series semi-final. Now, of course,
my body was feeling it. Also, again, because I hadn't played, basically, I played one tournament before that All England, which was the European Men's Team Championships, and as I said, it didn't go well. So I wasn't really in the tournament mode where I had played a lot of tournaments, a lot of matches. But I also have to say, as soon as I got on court, I didn't feel any like soreness or tiredness or anything. I was just completely into it. I was ready to run again.
That's a good follow-up.
yeah.
That's a good shot. That's it.
Yeah. Opening game 21-15.
First game won by Hans-Kristian Vittinghus, 21-15.
my goodness, how did he get that? Oh my goodness.
He's playing way too short, Vittinghus now, and that's why Wei is a little bit more successful in his attack.
It does look inevitable now that we'll have a third and deciding game. Second game to Tian Wei.
Second game won by
21-14.
Tian Wei, 21-14. One game more.
And one game apiece. So what has Vittinghus got left? We're about to find out in the decider.
He killed me physically.
He's done it. It will be an all-Chinese men's singles final tomorrow.
Court. It's one of the few matches where I felt like I ran out of gas in the end. He was just too consistent. To this day, I still think I would have had a chance if I had tried to play the poker face a little bit more at the start of the second. A little bit too early where I started going for winners too soon instead of showing him that I wasn't tired. I was tired, but I should have showed him that I wasn't to make sure that he didn't feel too comfortable just rallying with me at a high pace. But I showed him some signals of weakness in the early parts of the second game, and I think that was what actually gave the match away.
It will be an all-Chinese men's singles final.
I've forgiven myself about it also because I think had I made the final, it would not have been the most fun experience because Lin Dan, he was in unbelievable shape.
Believe it! What a rally! Unbelievable! No country outside of an Asian nation has won this coveted trophy.
There's always been three big dreams of mine: the Olympics, the All England, and Thomas Cup. And Thomas Cup is simply because I've always heard from top players in Denmark that it's such a special event. And I also had this DVD from the Thomas Cup finals in 2004, in Historia Scenarium. And I've seen that DVD a million times. I remember still some of the rallies actually between Chen from China and a guy called Hidetaka Yamada from Japan. I just remember watching that video so many times thinking, okay, I have to experience this one day. I then got selected for the Thomas Cup in 2010, but I had to, I was taken off the team shortly before because I got blood poisoning in my leg. Then in 2012 for the Thomas Cup, on the day we had to travel, I got I couldn't move my bags. I weren't able to travel. So I stayed home for 2 extra days actually before I was able to finally travel there. And I didn't get to play the role I was hoping for because obviously I was not in the right physical shape to play a big part. 2014, I went into the tournament with lots of pain in my foot. I wasn't able to train all the way leading up to the Thomas Cup, and again, just weren't able to perform. So every time there seemed to be something, some injury coming up or a sickness or whatever right before Thomas Cup, even when everything else was going well. It was kind of like there was this curse over me in Thomas Cup.
It's all going to come down to the third men's singles. Hassan Maulana Mustafa against Hans-Kristian Vittinghus. Pressure, tension. but also opportunity. An opportunity to become a hero.
To me, that is the most important win in my career. That match against Riichi Takeshita from Japan, the pressure was huge because, again, I had very high expectations. I was world number 10. I think he was maybe world number 36 or something. So on paper, I should just win that match. But with my history in Thomas Cup, I have never been able to perform and help the team the way I had dreamt about or people would expect of me. I'm only part of the national team. They have put all that funding into me, all those hours from the coaches into me to win medals for Denmark. And this was my first chance to actually play a vital role in winning a medal for Denmark. So when I managed to win that match and withstand that pressure that I put on myself, it was a huge monkey off my back, and it just it made it a lot easier for me to do the same in the semi-final.
Well, if Hans-Kristian Vittinghus doesn't win this one, the semi-final tie is over. He has to win to keep Denmark's hopes alive.
Getting Malaysia to the final. He couldn't win this match in the final. Malaysia
Around the rally, then look at that. And Vittinghus on his back foot.
mistakes.
Opening game to Denmark.
Good shot.
And Vittinghus has kept Danish hopes alive. But also opportunity. The opportunity to become a hero.
Good shot. Good shot.
Denmark just one game away from creating history. Worry.
In the last few rallies, I was just trying to enjoy the moment. It's actually quite fun that you ask, because I think it's on when I win the points in 19-7. I look out at Kenneth, who's coaching me, and he says, he's like shouting at me, like he's so angry, like stay focused, it's not over.
Vittinghus celebrates when he's winning that rally, and I kind of yell at him, no, you gotta stay focused.
I'm just looking at him and I'm saying, like, I can also enjoy it just a little bit.
And then he yells back, no, I gotta enjoy it.
And he's like, no, you just stay focused, and like he's just going crazy. He doesn't want me to like let go.
And I say, no, you don't, not until you've got 21.
was a huge moment for me. But I think, yeah, I can say that without like exaggerating or like trying to sound like I'm saying the right thing. But it was a much huger moment for the team and for Danish badminton. For me, it's still the biggest moment in Danish badminton. I think it's even bigger than the 2 Olympic gold medals that we've won, because this was kind of like more badminton Denmark as a whole that kind of benefited from that gold. It was the first time we showed that we can actually be the best team in the world and not just have like 1 or 2 players who are the best. We had 1 week at home after Thomas Cup, and then we had to go straight to Indonesia Open, which was a pretty crazy experience, having just beaten Indonesia in the Thomas Cup final. We weren't popular. Like, I played pretty well in Indonesia, but lost first round to Wang Qingming. I just remember I couldn't serve. For some reason, I couldn't focus mentally, and like my serve was completely broken in that match. So that was the only thing I went into the tournament in Australia really focusing on, like getting back into like a better state of mind in terms of my focus. The draw opened up a little bit at the start, and then when I kind of got into my groove there, I felt really comfortable in the arena.
Oh, that is brilliant.
Absolutely bearable for Vittinghus now. They're a little bit close.
That's very nice. Yeah, there's that one again. Oh, yes, that is. The white and the yell of delight from Vittinghus as he secures his place in the semi-final.
Wish we can't.
That's a nice shot. Yeah, it was the... Yeah, good work from... It's gone long.
Very short.
Opening. That's a good one, no, it's overdone it.
Guy on the other side right now. Good deception. Very good rally.
He's done it. Hans-Kristian Vittinghus will contest the first ever Super Series tournament final tomorrow because he's beaten Shrikant Kadambi in 2 straight games.
And when Chen lost to Ginting, who then lost to Yeon, who I played in the final from Korea, it's not just that I think I'm good enough to beat a guy like him in the final. I actually went into that final thinking I will win this final.
The highest ranked Korean player in the final, and in the semi-final he had beaten the number 1 seed.
Deception.
He's opening the second game against Yusuf.
Not this time though. Very well placed shot.
Clinically closed out from Hans-Kristian Vittinghus.
Different rally.
Oh, that was going wide. There. Softer pace. Points. Players need to more focus. Yeah, it's good placement on the smash again. Oh, I don't believe that. Oh,
exactly this time. And
Oh, yes.
congratulations.
Vittinghus.
Almost the same as Tim's cup.
He's done it. Hans-Kristian Vittinghus wins the Australian Open. A first ever Super Series title to the 30-year-old Dane. Congratulated by the youngster from Korea. Well, a first Dane to win a men's singles Super Series title.
The rest of 2016 was basically a disaster, and I don't think that's a strong word. Shortly after I won Australian Open, my dad passed away, which was obviously a huge moment in my life. And it was just like a few weeks before my wedding, so that's also why I said like 2016 was an outrageous year for me. Like there was so many ups and downs, so many big moments on court and off court. And then I had performed pretty consistently during the year. Then I had to just go to China and Hong Kong in November, and I just needed to get on court in those two tournaments. Then I would qualify for the Super Series finals. On the day I have to catch my flight to China, I'm flying in the evening, so I'm going into the city with my wife to have a lunch and just do something cozy before I have to leave. After eating that lunch, I start feeling like unbelievable pain in my stomach. And I'm like, okay, maybe I ate something bad or something. So I had a flexible ticket, so I thought, okay, I'll change my flight for the next day. But overnight, it just got worse and worse, and I had to go to the hospital. They said, yeah, we can't really see, it's maybe just some food poisoning or whatever. Which meant I had to postpone my flight another day, and I was like, yeah, well, it's not a big issue. I will arrive late, but again, I just need to get on court to get my points, and then I can qualify. The day after, it just got even worse. I had to go to the hospital again, and it turned out to be appendicitis. So I had to get surgery to remove my appendix. That obviously meant there was no chance I could go play China Open. But I was actually still in my mind thinking, okay, I can go to Hong Kong and just play there, get on court, get some points. So now I knew that, okay, I cannot go to Hong Kong, just play a few rallies, get my points, and qualify. I would actually need to win a match in Hong Kong, and there was no chance I could win a match 1 week after getting my appendix removed. So yeah, I had to pull out and miss out on the 2016 Super Series finals, which was a huge blow, and I was really, really, really disappointed. I don't remember much from the end of 2016 and the start of 2017. It was such an emotional, tough time in 2016 with ups and downs, like my wedding, my dad dying, winning Thomas Cup, winning my first Super Series, missing out on on the Super Series finals under those circumstances. So for me, that period of 6 months is it's basically just one big blur. I don't really remember much from the start of 2017. But there's no doubt for me that week it meant more to win a medal than what color of the medal, because as you say, it was my first medal. I'm in the Danish system to win medals for Denmark. That's why they put a lot of money into me. And I've always felt it like a bit of a failure that I didn't win a European medal before that. So it was very important for me to medal at home. I was happy with the medal. Of course, it tasted of a bit more when I had those 2 match points, but I still got tears in my eyes on the at the prize ceremony when I saw the Danish flag go up, and I know Raj won it, so it was the English flag highest, but it was a big moment for me to finally be able to stand at the podium for a championship with a medal for my country. So yes, it was a very big moment in my career. I was extremely pissed about it. It's a huge event. It's a lot of ranking points. It's a prestigious event. I want to win a medal. I wanted it for my sponsors as well. It was a big tournament to miss out on.
Can you sum up that feeling again of not getting that selection after medaling last year? And you know, have you moved on from it?
Yeah, well, first of all, I would like to say that I would really love to be there at the European Championship. So I had nothing to do with not being selected. I really wanted to go, and I was.
That's also why it created some like kind of turmoil, because I had to go out and say like, yeah, I'm really disappointed. I don't understand it and stuff like that, because I felt like I would not be true to myself and my sponsors if I kind of didn't show that. I was told the day after my son was born, and we were still in hospital, and it's nothing against the federation. They couldn't have done it differently, because that was the time where they had to announce the team. But yeah, I couldn't really be bothered talking about stuff like that, because it had been a really tough birth and everything. So it was just a very quick phone call, and I was like, yeah, whatever. It happened because Jan had been injured for a long time. And you can only get 4 players at the European Championships in a certain category, and Badminton Europe decided to give Jan a wildcard, and even with a wildcard you can not exceed that 4-player entry limit. So Badminton Denmark had to accept that wildcard or decline it. They decided to accept it, so then there were only 3 spots left, with me, Victor and Gemke fighting for those. Victor was the best in the world at the time, or one of the best, so obviously he was going to go. The way we look at the European Championships in Denmark is that it's a good championship to also give some experience to the younger ones that you expect to win bigger medals in the future.
Yes, now. Oh, this is a very good spell from the youngster.
And they felt it was a good opportunity for Gemke, who still had the level to compete for a medal. So to actually go there and try to experience the pressure of playing at a championship. In the end, it actually cost them like a medal, because Gemke only got seeded 5th. I would have been seeded 3 at the event, and Gemke then got drawn to play Victor in the quarterfinal. So obviously, just one of them could win a medal. Had I been there, we could have won all 4 medals, because we would have been seeded 1 to 4. So it did cost them like a medal in the end, but yeah, that was the reasoning behind it. They wanted to keep the experience. And I've always been against these rules where you can, where it's up to the federation. I understand the national quota, so it cannot be like 32 Danes. To this day, I'm still. It's not that I haven't forgiven people, and there's nothing really to forgive. It's just. Yeah, I still think it was a bad decision.
Amazing chance he takes there. That's fantastic. And there it is. Kento Momota finally
needed just the one.
本场比赛裁判员是传比中国发球裁判何水。Good serving by Vittinghus.
This time, second time of asking. 21-17 in the deciding game. But this time, the second time of asking. 21-4 in the deciding game. An hour and 11 minutes.
Hi guys, good morning. It's 6:30 in the morning here in Denmark. I'm sitting at the airport in Copenhagen waiting to board my flight. I've got my bag all packed and ready to go. I'm leaving for Malaysia Masters. Can't wait to get started with the new year. I've been working hard for the past 1.5 months, so I'm feeling so excited and ready to go. Can't wait. As I told you. And looking ahead to a main draw match means that, of course, I won my 2 matches in the qualifying rounds. And as I promised in my previous podcast, if I won those 2 matches, the next episode would be in a great mood. So hopefully I sound like I'm in a great mood, because I really am, although I'm sure all of you follow me on social media already and know that I lost the match against Lu Guangzhou in a tough 3-set battle. Lost the first game 21-11, won the second 20.
Well, it's always a pleasure to play in Islota. It's a great atmosphere. Even on qualifying day, there's quite a lot of spectators, so that's always just nice for us players to feel the support from all the passionate fans. So thanks for that. And my target for this event is, first of all, to make the main draw, win my 2 qualifying matches, and then when I make the main draw, we'll take it from there. But first goal is to make the main draw in Indonesia Masters. But of course, a lot of positives to take from these past 2 weeks, but right now it's the pain of missing this chance. I really had a good chance today to get a win, to get some ranking points, to try and make a deep run in in Indonesia Masters, but I just blew it in the end, and I can only blame myself. A bit disappointed that I didn't really get a result that I can use in terms of ranking, and the ranking is quite important with where I'm ranked right now. I'm 33 this week, and given the fact I made the second round last year, I will lose a bit of points and I'll probably go down a few spots in the rankings again. That has a pretty significant meaning, because after these events will be the ranking that counts towards who's making the main draw of All England. And unfortunately for me, there's only 32 spots, and as I said, I'm 33 this week, and I'll go down a few spots, and with no qualifying in All England, it looks like All England will be without me this year. But I think all the work I put in at the end of the year, which I showed all of you guys on Instagram with my hashtag #BetterIn2020, I think it's paid off, and I'm sitting here now back home and thinking that I just want to get back on court. I can't wait for the next few international events, so I can get another chance to also get the results and get some ranking points to get up the rankings once again.
U.S. death toll from the virus has surpassed 100 people.
20,000.
More than 46,000.
150,000.
200,000.
400,000 people have now died from COVID-19.
France, Spain, and Germany now locking down their countries. And ABC's James Longman tonight from London.
The badminton situation for me now is that I can still not do any training in on the badminton court. All indoor sports arenas here in Denmark are still shut down, no exceptions. That does mean it's not frustrating for me sitting here for another week and not being able to train play any badminton at all. But all my training is still being done at home, mostly outside, as the weather is pretty nice here in Denmark. So I'm doing physical training in my garden or on my porch. And unfortunately, the Danish government just told us 2 days ago that they are gonna carry on the ban or the closed down arenas for until the 10th of May. So that's 1 month more for we hopefully can go back into the badminton halls. The events has been suspended, the international events, for May, June and July. The Thomas Cup was supposed to be played in May and was moved to August. But 2 days ago, the government here in Denmark also said that any large gathering in Denmark will be banned until the end of August. Sounds like the new dates for the Thomas Cup in August is going to be impossible for the Thomas Cup to be played at. To be frank with all of you, I also have a hard time seeing international badminton being played anytime this year, to be honest.
The HSBC BWF World Tour 2020 resumed after 7 months in Odense, Denmark. The Danish Denmark Open 2020 was a welcome
And he's done it. On his 15th attempt. goodness, yes. Oh, that time, the next shot was perfect. It had to be because he had the power in the legs to change direction. Oh, that's a good shot. And first time of asking.
It was just amazing to be back on court. I'm so thrilled and happy and proud of Badminton Denmark for setting up, also BWF for supporting them, showing everyone that it's possible to play badminton during this corona pandemic. And I hope everyone out in Asia who didn't come for this one also watched it and feel safe and confident that okay, in January we can get back into action in the two Asia Opens in Thailand.
I remember I was down to 41 or 42 in the ranking, so I wasn't automatically guaranteed to enter those tournaments. I had a very bad year the year before. And I remember also saying in an interview with Danish TV that like this was the final chance for me these next few months, because if I didn't start performing better, I didn't think it was worth the investment, both in terms of time and money. We don't get everything funded in Denmark, so we pay like 90% of our expenses ourselves. So I was investing a lot of money into my career, and I was investing a lot of time away from my family. And I kind of felt like it was not really worth it if all I could do was fight to just stay in and not feel like I had any chance of actually achieving anything. I didn't feel like my game was then evolving, and I've always been motivated by that. We flew Denmark to Switzerland and then Switzerland to Thailand. And it was not until we boarded the plane in Switzerland that I got the final confirmation that I was in the main floor. I then played the first tournament in Thailand, lost in the first round to Rasmus Gemke. But that was the match that actually gave me belief that, okay, I still have it, because I felt like I was this close to actually beating him. I went into the second week feeling really good about my game.
Good power there from Vittinghus. That has gone out, and it is Lee who takes that first game.
Game.
Very nicely done by Vittinghus, who grabbed this game by the scruff of its neck. Great third game coming up shortly. Absolutely everywhere, Vittinghus, but to no avail.
Woo!
He needed that.
Okay.
Well, that's an unfortunate way to end the match.
Semi-final stage, still 3 seeds, still only one in the top half, but 3 days. And when you consider last week, 4 semi-finals were from 4 different nations. Well, what's happened to Denmark this week? They've been eating their cornflakes for breakfast or something, haven't they?
They've done well. Or fried rice, whatever it is.
That's a great gift.
Perfect gift.
Oh, that is well worked by Vittinghus. Opening game to Hans-Kristian Vittinghus. Yeah, he can hardly believe it. But Hans-Kristian Vittinghus will contest his first final tomorrow at this level of event for 4.5 years. And that's it. In just 40 minutes of play, history is made. The first singles player ever to win the Super 1000 Slam.
I wasn't close at all in the final. Like, Victor completely killed me, and I got a back issue at the mid-game interval in the second game, so I was already losing big. So the back issue had no effect in terms of could I have won or anything. But I just remember when I was on the podium, I was actually a little bit concerned about this back thing, because now I finally showed that I was back to form and playing well again. And then I was concerned that, okay, maybe my body is saying that, yeah, you're not really ready to perform after all. So it was a mixture of a little bit disappointment that I wasn't really able to make it an interesting final, and yeah, a little bit of concern about what this back issue was going to be.
So guys, it finally happened. I got my IndoMie, the power of IndoMie. So many boxes arrived. So 2 big ones there, 2 big ones there. 40 in each pack, so I got 160 packs of it. Been in a complete love storm from Indonesia, especially as my match yesterday secured Ginting's spot in the World Tour Finals. I had to beat Lee Chong Wei to give Ginting the final spot at the World Tour Finals, and my Instagram, Twitter, Facebook has gone absolutely crazy. I've had this fun little thing going on with the IndoMie, a noodle brand, where I was joking about I wanted a year of supplies, for a full year from IndoMie if I help Ginting to the finals. And IndoMie has been a great sport about it, and they actually contacted me through the CEO to try and arrange it, and it's just been a lot of fun. And as I said, my social media has gone crazy over the past couple of days, and I got more than 5,000 new followers yesterday, which is crazy by my standards. So I really got to see these past few days how big a sport badminton is in Indonesia, and how crazy the love you guys have for badminton is, and I honestly really appreciate it. It's been a great experience, and I hope that you have now forgiven me for winning that final point against you guys at the 2016 Thomas Cup final. I hope at least this was a small step in the right direction in terms of forgiveness from you guys.
That'll do it. That will do it. 21-14 in the second game. A very solid display from the two Indonesians, world-class doubles players. And Denmark's brave challenge to get to the final of the Thomas Cup on home soil has come to an end after a semi-final that only went 4 games, but lasted more than 4.5 hours. It was a battle.
Prepared for a lot of the best third men's singles from the gold medal contenders. What we did was I had a lot of talks with my psychologist about that certain situation, which I had already experienced before, but to try and prepare in every single situation, what kind of thoughts would come up, how would I handle it and stuff like that. But I also had a lot of video sessions with Ken Jonassen, simply just watching other players that could potentially play third men's singles. I also did a lot on my own, but then had follow-up talks with Kenneth, and we already started doing that 6 months prior to the tournament. It was Savito, who I was supposed to play from Indonesia in that third men's singles, was one of the guys that I watched the most. And yeah, I felt so ready for the situation, both in terms of tactics and also in terms of my mental state of mind. There was not a situation we hadn't prepared for. When I got the nod the day before that, okay, you're going to be in this match, I think it's honestly the most excited I've ever felt in my career about a match, also more than the Thomas Cup final in 2016. Because this one was at home and I felt so extremely prepared. I felt like we had a team that could win gold as well, and it was the role that I had dreamt of for a long time. Because at the time, my career was not going, amazing. I was on the downwards trajectory, so it was for sure one of the highlights that I could have left in my career. I knew that. It was, for me, the biggest disappointment of my career was the fact that we won bronze at that Thomas Cup. It's easy to sit here and say, but I'm very confident that I would have won, and I think also history shows that those kind of matches are the ones that I thrive in. So I'm yet to lose a decisive match in Thomas Cup.
He's done it. Denmark have come from 2-1 down in the tie against China to win 3-2, and Vittinghus has delivered once more. Just shy of an hour and 20 minutes.
And that is I mean, there's also a few people asking about your retirement plan and stuff, and I think everyone knows that you do not have a whole lot left in you in your active badminton career, but yours, for me to see, and correct me if I'm wrong, you're looking for that right moment to call it a career, and is the main goal to end your career in Copenhagen at the World Championships, or what's the plan?
I wouldn't really say it's a goal because it's out of my control. It doesn't look very good, so
but that's what you hope for, right?
That's what I hope for, but I just got the news last week that I got a spot at the Indonesia Open, so that's very nice. I will try to get ready for that in 3 weeks from now, I think.
Singles, and Hans-Kristian Vittinghus playing his last ever Indonesian Open up against last week's champion,
It's just so special, it has so much history, and every time I've come here, it's just completely lived up to the hype and the expectations. yeah, so that the atmosphere is like none other place in the world. So, yeah, very emotional. I was even crying a little bit during warm-up, not on court, but yeah, outside of court. But I managed to control my emotions at a decent level until after the match. Then I had to cry a little bit more, but that's fine. It just means that it shows that it means a lot to me.
See you next year. Tahun depan masih kesini kan?
It was pretty clear that I was probably not going to play the World Championships in Denmark. I was basically only part of the national team for the final 3 months to help the guys prepare for the World Championship. My purpose for myself on the national center had already served itself. It was amazing to have like all the nice words from the head of sports in Denmark, the guy from the Olympic Committee as well, and like there were a lot of people that came there to show me respect, and I really appreciated that. And I also was too emotional to really say anything besides just thanks to everyone for coming. I couldn't hold like a big speech, even though I'm a decent public speaker. In that moment, I just had to say like thanks so much, and that's gonna be about it. So it was an emotional day. My family was there as well, but it was also, for me, it was a clear sign that it was the right time, that I was already ready to move forward, that I wasn't crying because I felt there was more there. I was really ready for the next chapter of my life.
Hans-Kristian Vittinghus lifts the trophy aloft. A moment he will remember.
During these crazy times, I think it's even more important than ever to keep supporting the children of the programs of Solibad all over the world. That's why I'll continue to donate 1% of my yearly prize money, and the reason why I enjoy doing it this way is because that means whenever I produce good results, it's not only good for me, but it's also good for a lot of kids all over the globe.
Hi guys and girls, and welcome back to A Year on Tour with Vittinghus. Before I get started talking about the unbelievable quarterfinal match yesterday,
Hans-Kristian, of course, but we have Anders Skov Rasmussen in the white polo. And
welcome to this special episode of the Serve and Smash podcast, second edition. We have had some technical issues.
Welcome to this first ever live edition of my podcast, A Year on Tour with Vittinghus. I'm very happy to say, though, that you won't have to hear me talk too much about myself, because I have the big privilege.
I did look through was all the way through tournament software. I mean, I found some very obscure videos and all sorts of things. Yeah, I was doing my best, but you still come up with some stuff that, well, clearly is not on the internet, which I couldn't find. It might be somewhere in Danish that I wouldn't have been able to know about. But so hopefully, this interview will actually bring some other things to light that no one would have known before. So that's great. So thank you ever so much for taking the time to speak to me about this.
I
really appreciate it.
Yeah. And then I said to my coach after the match, like, see, I told you this guy is never gonna make it to the top. And yeah, it's one of the worst predictions I've made in my career.